What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news, and today we have Lady of Blossom Realm Melissa's skill card. Be prepared, this one's a long one again. Get your PhD ready to go to show and prove that you can understand everything with this hero, because she has a lot of abilities, but she does sound pretty strong and has a lot of the base Melissa abilities where she can get rid of CC effects on allies, give them shields, give them buffs, and a whole bunch of other things. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's take a look because she sounds pretty powerful. So you can see page 1 is a lot of descriptions and the active skill goes from here to here. So let's start this off. Let's zoom in a little bit more right there. Let's take a look at her active skill. I almost said ultimate, my bad. So many games. I'm getting so confused. Dreamland Dominion deals attack damage to frontline enemies, so okay. Meanwhile, reduces their damage reduction and control immunity for several rounds. Afterward, grants Dream Magic Wings on the ally with the highest speed for several rounds. Dream Magic Magnification on the ally with the highest attack for several rounds. And Dream Magic Protection on the ally with the lowest HP. So even though we're going to see a lot of text here, this part isn't that hard to really understand here. The wings that's going to be going to the fastest hero on your team says it's not stackable. Increases the controller's control immunity and speed. When the owner is inflicted with a control effect, it removes several of them randomly from the target and restores energy. This can be triggered up to a certain number of times each round. That sounds really, really good. And a lot of times you can kind of manipulate this so that your biggest damage dealer is also the one that's the fastest speed. Now, granted, certain game modes, like bossing and stuff, you're probably going to have some of those support heroes like Freya or Queen be a little bit faster. But normally, this is pretty good because, again, you're going to be able to take those control effects off of an ally. You might not need to run things like the E3 Enable to purify CC effects. That's pretty good. Next up is Magnification. This one's going to the highest attack hero. So, again, your main damage dealer increases the owner's all damage dealt. Yeah, that's already pretty good. When releasing active or basic attacks, the owner deals extra damage equal to a certain percentage of the target's max HP, capping at that owner's attack percentage, which should be good. So like, for example, my Doom Terminator Vulcan, this hero would work very well with that because doing extra hits is always good. And then the fact that it's based on the enemy's max HP with a very high attack, and it is your most highest attack hero. That's a really good combo. The third one is Protection. This one's going to the lowest HP ally for several rounds. Skill effect, not stackable, grants the owner a shield equal to a certain percentage of the owner's attack. So if it's going to like a 5-star or something like that, it's not going to be a very big shield. If it's going to like one of your biggest damage dealers and he just so happens to be the lowest HP, it's still going to be a huge shield. When the owner loses a shield for the first time each round, grants the owner a shield equal to a certain percentage of their max HP. So that's really interesting. Usually when effects like this happen in our game, you get the shield, you lose the shield, and then it heals. This time, it literally says when the owner loses a shield for the first time in each round, it grants that owner another shield equal to a certain percentage of their max HP. That's really interesting, and that's like the first time we've seen an effect like that. So overall, I do like the active skill. I don't like how it's just frontline enemies, but that portion is kind of irrelevant. Yes, it lowers their damage reduction control immunity. If you're going up against the boss, most likely it's hitting the boss as well, which might be a cool thing. But her effects are really, really solid. First passive skill, Shadow of Blossom Realm. Changes the base attack to deals attack damage to enemies and increases all ally speed for several rounds. Again, speed has been pretty irrelevant outside of PvP, which she should be a pretty solid PvP hero. But yeah, deals damage and increases ally speed. Additionally, grants more control immunity offset to the ally with the highest speed. So that could be really good, especially if you're running like the Dragon Rui Scepter and that hero is your fastest, maybe like a Therapist Blood Betty. This could have even more control immunity offset. That's pretty good. Second passive, Brilliant Boon. When an ally is inflicted with a control effect, if self has a certain amount of energy, consumes energy to remove several random control effects on that ally and grant them layers of Power of Dream, which we'll talk about. So again, this is pretty much the same type ability that base version of Melissa has, which is really good. When an ally's HP is below a certain percentage, if self has a certain amount of energy, she'll consume energy and give a shield. So it's not just for control abilities, it's also for survivability. Also, you know, granting self layers Power of Dream. So let's jump over here. Let's talk about some more of these abilities. Mainly first, the skill effect Power of Dream. Up to a certain number of layers can be had when Power of Dream is stacked to a certain number, consumes them all when self launches a basic attack. Next time, replacing the base attack with the active skill Dreamland Dominion. So this is where it's kind of cool. So it basically, if you get enough of these stacks up, you're no longer going to do this right here, which, you know, is increasing control immunity, offset, speed, things like that. Instead, you're just going to use an active skill. This is a lot like how Therapist of Blood Betty works, where when she does hit 100 energy for the first time in a round, she triggers her active skill. This is just going to make it so that it's going to consume them, and then you have this like buff on you that then happens next time you use a basic. It's just going to be an active skill. The interesting thing with this is we'll have to see if she's, say, at 50 energy, if she uses this ability, does she still get 50 more energy, or does it count as an active draining her energy? That's going to be really interesting to see. And last passive skill, Dreamlike Illusion. This is another one where it has a ton of effects. When the battle starts or when self is in as a substitute, you gain magic mirror or mirror magic till the end of battle. Mirror magic cannot be stacked with dream magic of the same suffix. So if you have, for example, dream magic wings, you cannot get mirror magic wings, so it can only be on certain ones. So mirror magic wings increases the owner's control immunity and speed when the owner is inflicted with the control effects, removes a certain number of them and gain energy, which is cool. Magnification increases the owner's all damage dealt. So you can see they're pretty much identical to the ones there. Again, here, when an owner loses shield for the first time in the round, grants the shield equal to a certain percentage. This is really, really cool right here. So really awesome. I kind of like it. Again, it's mainly just for herself though, but it says when the owner dies, loses random types of mirror magic and revives at the beginning of the next round. After losing a certain number of magic or mirror magic, gains fictional magic for several rounds. Revival cannot be triggered when the owner has fictional. So it sounds like it's probably like a one-time type use type thing. We'll have to see how it works out. But there are some abilities. Fictional magic gains energy immediately and increases energy at the end of each round. When it becomes ineffective, revival cannot be triggered again and the owner dies. So she does have a revive, which again makes things very interesting for PvP. Her core of origin at the end of each round grants all allies the following effects based on the mirror magic that she owns. And remember, this mirror magic right here, at the battle starts, you're immediately going to gain it with a certain number of stacks. So could be interesting. Increase speed, increase all damage, or gain a shield. So really, really interesting ability. I think this is probably going to be one of the stronger support heroes we've seen in Auto Heroes in a while. And lastly, we do see her tenants. She's got Phantom Fire Elena and Fairy Queen Vessa. Not the best. A lot of priests on here, which is not a lot of stats, but I don't think she's going to be used as like a homeowner. It does sound like she is also the number 2 tenant for Lord of Sparkle's Yorm Tum, and the number 4 tenant for, I think, Natalia. I don't know. It's really hard to say. The translation is really botched on here, so I don't know, but she is the number 4 tenant for somebody that we'll have to talk about. So let me know what you guys think. I'm honestly very optimistic about the viability of this hero, and that's without even seeing like what the abilities are for her sublimations, for her I almost said Dream Realm, for her Destiny transition. There's a lot of potential for this hero. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'm excited for this hero for once, and I'll see you guys next time.